An unremarkable rotten apple unexpectedly throws all of South Korea into a zombie apocalypse. The story begins quite ordinarily. A man with glasses is tidying up his house when he comes across a moldy, rotten apple. Without thinking twice, he tosses it into a street garbage bin. However, no one could have predicted that after 2 days and nights of fermentation, the apple would mutate and release a mysterious virus. The sanitation workers, doing their routine rounds, collected the bin and transported the garbage to a waste facility. There, as usual, the garbage was sorted and processed, with the rotten apple being repurposed into cattle feed. Soon, this batch of virus-infected feed was sent to a farm, where the cows, after consuming it, began to mutate, turning into crazed zombie cows. The farm owner, hoping to avoid financial loss, decided to cover up the truth. He slaughtered the mad cows and falsely labeled the meat with a certified inspection stamp, shipping the infected beef to various barbecue restaurants across the city. Ironically, the eyeglasses man who discarded the apple was out on a date at one of these barbecue spots. Unbeknownst to him, the very apple he threw away had, in a strange twist of fate, transformed into toxic beef and found its way back into his stomach. The eyeglasses man and his date savored the barbecue, thoroughly enjoying every bite. The restaurant owner even brought them a complimentary plate of raw beef liver. Trying to impress the woman, the man confidently picked up a piece of liver and popped it into his mouth, chewing with relish. But as he ate, he suddenly noticed a bit of apple peel mixed in with the liver. He didn't think much of it and continued to finish the rest of the meal. The date seemed to be going smoothly, and after they were full, the two went for a stroll in the park. The atmosphere grew romantic, and it was clear the woman was very taken with him. Before long, they officially became a couple. Just as the man was about to kiss her, the woman noticed something strange. Dark, eerie veins had begun to appear on his face, suggesting some kind of terrible illness. As she tried to get a closer look, the man's head was suddenly hit by a flying water bottle. He turned around and saw 2 young punks standing nearby, clearly displeased with their public display of affection. One of them, a skinny guy, even made a mocking gesture, provoking the man. Faced with being taunted in front of his girlfriend, how could the eyeglasses man hold back? Furious, he stormed over, ready to teach the skinny guy a lesson. However, just as he reached the skinny guy, a hulking man, resembling Ma Dong-suk, stepped in and slammed him hard against a pillar. The skinny guy didn't miss his chance either. He ran up and kicked him while he was down, leaving the glasses guy in such bad shape that he even puked up the beef he'd just eaten. Seeing this, the girl freaked out and quickly called the police. But little did she know, the glasses guy was already starting to mutate. With the zombie virus taking hold, he swung his arm and sent both of the troublemakers flying to the ground. The girl, completely terrified, ran off as fast as she could. Meanwhile, the glasses guy was furious. His carefully planned date ruined by these 2 punks. Blinded by rage, he spat a nasty glob of bloody phlegm right onto the skinny guy's face. But something strange happened. The spit didn't just drip off like normal. Instead, it absorbed straight into the skinny guy's skin. Within moments, both the skinny guy and his big friend started showing signs of mutation. At that moment, another couple, oblivious to the danger, were busy showing off their affection in the park. However, the 2 freshly mutated zombies couldn't stand the sight of this public display of affection. They charged at the couple without hesitation. Meanwhile, the woman who had fled earlier started feeling unwell herself. Drool began dripping uncontrollably from her mouth, and her saliva splattered onto the floor of the bus she had boarded, drawing disgusted looks from nearby passengers. Her thoughts flashed back to the creepy black veins she had seen on the glasses guy's face, along with his sudden violent outburst. A growing sense of unease gnawed at her. Was it possible he was infected with some kind of virus? Desperate for answers, she tried calling the glasses guy, but no one picked up, the phone ringing endlessly with no response. Meanwhile, business at the barbecue restaurant was still booming. Unbeknownst to the customers, more and more people were consuming the virus-infected beef. Out on the streets, the number of mutated individuals began to rise rapidly. Some people's faces were bulging with dark veins, while others vomited uncontrollably. Soon, they all lost their senses and started viciously attacking and biting the people around them. As the situation worsened, news outlets began covering the incident, but experts mistakenly labeled it as a common flu outbreak. Following the advice of these experts, the government decided to cull large numbers of poultry, thinking it might stop the virus from spreading. However, their efforts were in vain. The virus continued to spread at an uncontrollable rate. In a live news broadcast, a reporter attempted to interview the now fully mutated, Ma Dong-suk, only to be gruesomely attacked and killed on camera. By this time, back at his home, the fully transformed eyeglasses man went on a rampage, smashing furniture and unleashing his uncontrollable fury. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was his family, returning from their trip, completely unaware of the danger awaiting them. They stepped inside the darkened house, oblivious to the imminent threat. Standing in the shadows, Eyeglasses Man remained silent as his family entered. His father, seeing the mess inside, began scolding him for the disarray. But as Eyeglasses Man slowly approached, his family sensed something was wrong. Unfortunately, it was too late. Both parents were quickly attacked and infected. Only his younger sister managed to narrowly escape the horror unfolding inside the home. The virus spread rapidly, plunging the entire city into despair. Countless people were transformed into zombies, and horrifying scenes unfolded on the streets, with even rural areas unable to escape the nightmare. People in malls fought desperately for supplies, while those trapped on rooftops hopelessly signaled for rescue. But all efforts proved futile, as even the military, sent in by the government, was overrun by the relentless zombie horde, becoming nothing more than a buffet for the undead. Within just a few days, the virus swept across all of South Korea. Amid the endless sea of the undead, the Eyeglasses Man and the woman crossed paths once more. Despite both having turned into zombies, it seemed they still held faint memories of each other. In the ruins of an abandoned subway station, the woman picked up the moldy apple that had caused it all and handed it to the Eyeglasses Man. Without hesitation, he took it and began devouring the apple. Ironically, none of the survivors would ever know that this apocalyptic catastrophe was all triggered by a single, carelessly discarded rotten apple.